All right, gentlemen, welcome to week 5, Unconventional Man. This is your shapes and stretching video. So our last video was the cobra, and we were on our tummy. We were practicing lifting our chest. And the most important thing you have to know about that shape, this shape, is that the scoop is the thing that lets you get into that shape. And I know it's kind of different because you think that you're working, and you are working these muscles. These muscles in behind you are flexing, okay? The muscles behind you are flexing, okay? And so they are lifting you up. Now, the idea in the cobra is that your legs, your glutes are into the ground, so your legs are flexing, your back is, but to get the space, you gotta scoop at the same time. So what you gotta know is any extension of the spine requires scooping at the same time. That's how you're gonna get the maximum out of that shape. Okay, so I'm bringing a bunch of things together now because these shapes require consistency. What we're talking about right now really is everything that is flexing your spine in the sagittal plane or in the forward and back plane. So even as I do this kind of cat-cow movement, you can see me getting the C curve here, and then I'm reversing it. So these are things that you do in between. Here's sitting on your knees, okay, with the C curve, and then also reversing it. So in all of these positions, what you're really gonna do is practice moving your spine in all the different directions, because that's ultimately what we want is range of motion. We're not trying to do anything specifically besides improve our range of motion. Here I am practicing getting my hips down into the mat. Okay, and that's a special feeling to get your hip bone into the mat. Now, to do it easily, I gotta let my shoulders roll up to my ears and my elbows go wide, which is technically bad. Not what we want our upper body to do, but it's kind of required to get the feeling of my hips being into the mat. Okay, and these rolling from side to side is me opening up all those muscles along the side. Now, in all of our movements, the more we keep our legs straight, okay, the more we can stretch the muscles in the hips. So right now I've added the element of pointing my toes and straightening my legs to the twist. So that's it, with my knees off or my legs relaxed and straight. So there's two different ways, okay? And so that's me working the hips and the back, and all of that needs to be done with a scoop. Okay, and I would consider that part of your Cobra series. Okay, so I wanted to add, because in the Pilates series, we're going to do Swan, and Swan is also from this position, so I want you to kind of see how they're connected. In Swan, we have a series of exercises called leg kicks, where we're pulling our heel to our glutes. And so, for our stretch, we're going to practice that shape, okay? So, you're going to pull and grab, okay? And then, what we're learning is your upper body and your head has a tremendous effect on the shape of your back. Okay, so you guys may be here, or grabbing something, whatever it is. But right now I'm letting my knee be on the floor. And when my knee's on the floor, my hip comes up, okay? So that is stretching the quad or the lower by the knee. Now, if I put my hip down and lift my knees, okay, that pulls up into the hip flexor. And notice to do that, I have to roll my whole body around. Okay, and so, lower part, press the hip in, get the knee off the mat, and that gets deeper into the hip flexor up by the pelvis. And that's where you want to get it. That's where you want to get the range. I'm going to do the other side, because I need to do the other side after I show you this side. So that's what it looks like with the knee down and the hip coming up. And your bum will be up in the air, and then rolling down. Right? And it'll help to let your chest go down so you can lift your knees. Okay, and so this is Cobra with your quads. Okay, and so that's an important stretch to put into your your Cobra series. So you could Cobra, you could stretch, right, the different sides, and then take a break by pushing back into your knees. Okay, you can work C curve from your knees. You can work, oh, here's a good twist from your knees. This one, put your palms on top. Okay, now push your palms together. I know sometimes that seems like a lot, but it's totally doable, guys. Like here, hands together. Even if you're just pushing to do this, okay, the way the exercises are set up, when you control the bones in the right direction, the stretch occurs, like it's a shape. So the skills are what I tell you they are: pressing your hands together, squeezing your shoulder blades together. That will guide your bones into the right position. Okay, so we've cobra'd, we've twisted in our cobra, we've got our quads in our cobra. Okay, so the shape for today is commonly known as an upward dog. Okay, and so I want you to see it as this shape. Okay, now you guys know how hard it is to sit up tall. Okay, and you know how much work it is to get your chest and your scoop open, and let alone if I ask you to lift your hands over your head, or let alone if I ask you to press your toes forward. So this L shape, these are my sit-up muscles, my hamstrings, okay, my scoop, my posture, my upper back, and then finally my shoulders get integrated. Okay, that shape right there, that's a great stretch. So what is upward dog but that same shape? So listen, we're not doing yoga, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. What it matters is that you know what to do with it. So right now I'm taking my hands, okay, and you're spreading your hands, and you gotta anchor your hands with your finger strength, okay? And now I'm gonna learn to get my arms straight. So now getting my arms straight, the easiest thing right now is to bend my knees, and I'm pushing my chest towards my thighs. Okay, and my chest over my thighs, that's the same as lifting my hands over my head. Okay, so that's going to stretch the back of my shoulders. So you've got to learn how to find your elbows here. So when I point my elbows down, that is how I activate the muscles in my upper back that really secure my shoulders in place. And so you're going to push and rotate, and just practice coming through here and opening your chest into that stretch. Okay? Now, okay, I'm resting, right? You guys can rest in between. That's why I showed you the knees. You can do cobra in between. The first thing that will happen when you try this stretch is that your arms are just gonna get tired. You're gonna think that it's not possible. So this is one of those stretches that you just kind of be persistent with and keep working on. Every time we're doing a Pilates movement and I have you guys reaching, early on practice reaching and really straightening your arm. To straighten your arm, you gotta flex the tricep and push, okay? So what that action will help you do is help you see, your arms like your leg. For me to get my arms straight, I've got to use more than just my elbows. I can't just go like that. I've got to reach from there to get my arms straight. And so part of what you're doing is practicing elongating and using your shoulder blades as part of this whole chain. So you really have to think that your hands start with your fingers and finish with your lats. That's the feeling, okay? So that's your arms into it. So the other half of it is your legs. So it'll be easiest like this. So now I'm letting my back or my arms be less elevated or less extended, which is going to give me more space to move my legs. And so my legs, I may start like this. Okay, and so that's one at a time. And I'm trying to press my heel down to the floor. But watch my toes, I'm spreading my toes, okay? Particularly the pinky edge of your toe. Okay, and that's how you get the stretch to go down the entire back of the hamstring. So you gotta stretch your toes open to make it happen. And so if I keep my hands, my shoulders like just over my hands, I'll have space to do that, and in all likelihood you guys have the strength to do it. Here's me shortening it up even more. Okay. So from this position, the next thing I would work on would be to drop yourself into a version of the squat. Okay, so working through this action is what's going to help you get the active strength required to pull it into your best version of downward dog. Okay. I hope that one was helpful, right? The idea with your stretches is, well, over time, you're going to learn to feel what you need and sit in the part that you need. Understand how your bones straighten and how the scoop skills will help with that. And then when you get to a spot where you're stuck, that's where you just learn to breathe. You know, for example, if I was stuck here, I would add my breath to it. I could pump a couple of times in between and then do another breath. Okay, so you have the shapes and you have the skills, and these things will come together and it will help you elongate. So, until next time, be unconventional.